From something towering and human-shaped slipping through a bend in mining roads, to a white-robed figure whispering, "Let me in," outside a remote home, and eerie whistling sounds in the woods, these are creepy Appalachian encounters caught on camera. Did this hunter capture something paranormal on his rural property? Watch this clip and see if you spot the human-shaped figure moving through the trees. The video was posted by Reddit user BourbonLover88, who wrote, "So I'm an avid bow hunter, and I've had a few weird experiences in the woods at night. Nothing more than unsettled feelings or a weird noise far off, but I cannot explain what this video is. I hunt atop an abandoned coal mine. It was in operation from the 1890s through the late 1940s. At different points throughout the mine's history, cave-ins, explosions, and other unfortunate incidents have killed dozens of men, many of whom still reside in the caves as their bodies were in locations too dangerous for rescue. They simply sealed off those portions of the mine with cement and kept going. Crisscrossed across this property is old mining roads, one of which can be seen in the video. The figure seems to slow down when crossing the old road and then speeds up again afterwards. I don't believe this is something on the lens, as the figure moves behind the trees on the left side of the road and in front of the trees on the right. I also make out what looks to be legs underneath the figure in certain positions of the video. So the freakiest part is this: I placed a photo in this comment to my buddy who's 5'9" in a similar spot is where the figure crosses the road. Comparing the two, the figure looks to be about 10 feet tall. Can anyone talk me down about this? Every alarm in my head is screaming ghost. A woman named Michelle and her partner Jonathan experienced something really freaky on their property in the Appalachian Mountains, and it was all caught on their home security camera. It started when they noticed mysterious footprints around their property. They weren't animal prints. And one night they woke up to an alert from their security camera. They checked it, they saw this. Now keep in mind, they live on a very rural property. People don't just walk around the area at night, especially with little to no clothing. So exactly who or what is this? And they continued creeping around. Jonathan went out to investigate, likely armed, but by that point, the mysterious person was gone. A now deleted Reddit user posted this next video with the heading, "This disturbing security camera footage of a pale crawler was just captured outside of a North Carolina home." So we see this pale, spindly, freaky looking monstrosity scuttling through this person's backyard. It's clearly not a regular person, but it's also nothing like any normal animal. Some commenters compared it to all the classics: skinwalker, rake, pale crawler, but there's another name that also came up in the comments: a flesh runner. So these are creatures said to be spotted in the Appalachian Mountains. People usually describe them as these really thin, pale humanoid things with long arms, no real body weight to them, and this kind of jerky, awkward movement. If you grew up in and around North Carolina, you probably heard stories of a mysterious phenomenon known as the Brown Mountain Lights. People have been seeing these strange lights over the Brown Mountains for more than 100 years. Not once or twice, but enough that it turned into a full-on local legend. Sometimes it's glowing orbs hovering over the ridges, sometimes it's fast-moving lights that clearly aren't planes or helicopters, and sometimes it's just flashes that show up and disappear with no pattern at all. Well, years back, an Appalachian State University team led by physicist Daniel Caton went to investigate. They set up a proper system with 2 cameras aimed at the mountains, streaming everything back to their lab so they could go through the footage night after night. And for years, nothing really happened. They'd see some standard stuff: cars in the distance, aircraft. Caton and his team got used to striking out pretty much every night. But finally, something showed up. On one of their recordings, they caught these weird lights moving across the ridgeline. It wasn't just one camera catching a glitch or a reflection. The same lights showed up on both cameras at the exact same time. And that's important because normally if something only hits one lens, you could chalk it up to a flare or like some kind of sensor issue, but when both cameras pick up the same thing in sync, that gets a lot harder to casually explain away. After that, Caton and his team went through the footage frame by frame, trying to figure out what they'd actually seen, and they couldn't figure out what it was. There are tons of videos of the Brown Mountain Lights online. Some are easy to explain away, others not so much. This footage definitely falls into the latter. TikToker Moshmob caught some eerie sounds on camera, writing, "It's 3 a.m. in Appalachia, real proof of whistlers." Just as the text says, amongst the sounds of crickets, we hear this haunting whistling sound in the distance. Creepy stuff, but what exactly is a whistler? It's another piece of Appalachian folklore, said to be an entity that mimics human whistling out in the deep forest. Basically, if you're out in the woods at night and you hear a whistle, you're not supposed to respond. You could be attracting some unwanted attention, either from a person or some kind of dark presence. Some say a whistler can mimic other sounds too, like animals or human voices. It's known to call out people's names as well. The main rule is just to not engage. If you hear it, you're supposed to stay calm, don't copy it, and just slowly leave the area. Some say you should actually say out loud that you're leaving. Keep your eyes peeled, because this happens pretty fast. Did you catch that? Some weird looking shape flies past this person's ring cam in the Appalachian Mountains. This footage was posted to Reddit by extension Zebra3573, who checked her ring footage when she was out of town. She spotted the thing flying by 2 different times just after 10 p.m. She had no idea what it was. And she's pretty familiar with the wildlife in the area. In the Reddit user's own words, "I've seen a million animals and insects moving across the camera, but I've never seen anything like this." What do you think that this thing is? Leave your thoughts down in the comments. This next one's actually kinda sad, but if I saw this trudging through the woods in the middle of the night, with no context, my soul would exit my body. The footage comes from West Virginia, where an outdoorsman named Kurt Price managed to capture a bear moving around on just 2 legs. The footage was taken on September 12th, 2024, and Price says it wasn't actually the first time he'd come across the animal. He believes he first encountered it about 2 years earlier, and it's been living somewhere in the West Virginia mountains since then. Obviously, what you notice right away is how it moves. The bear has to walk upright because it has no front legs. According to Price, the bear has a range of about 5 miles in the West Virginia mountains. He's only seen it in person a couple times. He also noticed that the bear has clean nubs, where its front legs should be, so he thinks that it was born this way. When Price first saw the bear, though, he was understandably kind of freaked out, saying he noticed this bear, quote, on its hind legs, running around like a Sasquatch-looking thing. It was bizarre. Some people online started saying the bear should probably be kept in a sanctuary, but Price pushed back on that, saying, "I firmly believe he was born that way and has overcome all odds. That's what the focus should be on. The bear is truly amazing." Posted to TikTok by Nikki Dunn, this security camera footage captures her husband and their dog rushing back inside after hearing a blood-curdling scream late at night. Take a listen.
You alright?
Even the dog knew not to just stand there barking into the dark. A lot of people in the comments said it could have been a bobcat or a mountain lion. They can make some pretty freaky noises, but others weren't so convinced. One commenter said, "So what was it?" And Nikki responded saying, "We still aren't positive." However, between Hubs going to investigate, our neighbor getting his pew-pew to go down to the mountain and investigate, the cops driving by, we are pretty positive wasn't human. This next clip was posted by a TikToker named The Most Mandy, who shared some pretty creepy security camera footage from outside her home in the Appalachian Mountains. In the video, a figure wearing a long white robe can be seen moving across her property. At one point, it says, "Let me in this harsh, scratchy, witchy voice. The figure keeps getting closer to the house until the motion lights suddenly come on, and she quickly scuttles back in the darkness. There's also another clip from a different camera on the property. You can hear the woman a lot more clearly in this one, not that you'll be glad you can. And this last one is pretty cool, but less cool if you're really scared of bears, which we all should be to some extent. So a group of Airbnb guests staying in a remote cabin near Gatlinburg, Tennessee, ended up with 2 black bears on their porch. The whole thing was caught on video and posted to TikTok by user The Crunchy PT. The clip shows the bears hanging around the cabin's porch, with one of them peering through the glass door while the other pokes around the deck chairs. The Airbnb host had apparently given the guests a heads up, saying you might see some bears. The poster on TikTok called it the wildest thing that's ever happened to them at an Airbnb. The cabin sits near the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is home to around 1,900 black bears. The Park Service is pretty clear that these are not cuddly animals, warning that, quote, "Bears in the park are wild, their behavior can be unpredictable." Pretty awesome to get to see bears like this up close, right in the comfort of an enclosed cabin, though. But that has been the video, and I will catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next one.